Hello everybody, Presented here, back in my program, and I did want to say a couple things first. I did record a video of myself programming these three infinite spells. Problem is, when I went back to watch the footage that I recorded, there was no audio. Like, the microphone didn't pick up any of my voice. So I had a few options. One of them was recording over that recording and just talking about what I'm doing. Which to me would be a little bit strange, trying to keep up with what I was doing in the video. The second option was scrap all the code that I made and re-record. That didn't really appeal to me since I already made the code and I didn't want to redo it. Third option is the one I'm doing now, which is the easiest to I forget the word. But anyways, it's the easiest path, and I chose to take it because I'm lazy, and it's the path where I scrap the previous video that had no recording and just move on. The thing is, I have a ton of content here for us to look through. I haven't even finished all of the classes, but I finished a good amount of them, and we are all the way up here, and we have all this to go. So I feel like scrapping a video this early isn't gonna be too much of a problem. So I did program these, they do work, and everything's fine. So we're gonna move on to the Marauder today with Laceration and Shred. Second thing I wanted to say is you might hear some noise in the background. There is a very loud Lord of the Rings movie on outside of my room, so the microphone might pick it up, I'm not too certain, but if you do hear stuff that's not my voice, then it will probably be the movie. Anyways, let's move on to the Marauder. His first active is Laceration. It deals 100% attack damage and bleeds the target by 15% for 3 turns. Pretty simple stuff. Upgrades: increase the damage by 50% and increase the bleed by 20%. And then the next ability is Shred. It deals 100% attack damage and attack exposes the target by 20% for 3 turns. And the upgrade is additionally spell exposes the target by 20% for 3 turns, and it deals bonus damage equal to 5 times the target's armor, which is pretty good. So we will start with Laceration. Shredded will be a little bit more unique, so this one might take a little bit longer, but starting with Laceration shouldn't be too bad. We're going to go in here and create, yes, out of the infinite. We're on the Marauder now, not the Assassin. So the Marauder active skill, the first one is Laceration. Laceration. It extends active spell. Gonna format it. Ooh, nope. There's a space between my first and last name. Weirdly enough. Okay, so we're gonna call this super. Spell type is this one is a little tricky because it deals damage. I would say it's a debuffs because it has the bleed. You're going to use it for the bleed mostly, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and debuff. Because it does the bleed. It also deals, there is the upgrade to make it deal 150% attack damage, so you might use it for the damage as well. But the bleed, I think, is the main draw of that ability. Initial damage type is attack. Initial damage multiplier is 1. Stat to spend, we're spending mana, as with nearly all of the other abilities. Base cost is 25. Base cost mult is 0. Cooldown 4 turns. Upgrade 1 is plus 50% initial damage. Upgrade 2 is plus 20% bleed potency. Potency. There we go. Alright, and also you might pick up some of my cat making noises because he's in an excitable mood right now. Override. Yes, update description. We're going to do this dot description equals deals plus this molt based, no, initial damage molt times 100, not 200, that's too much. We're going to have to math around just so that it doesn't have any rounding errors. Deals that much attack damage, and bleeds the target by, do need a bleed percentage, private variable, bleed molt number at first equals 0.15. And then again, we're going to have the rounding for this dot bleed molt times 100. And this description is getting kind of long. By the percent. Ooh, actually, there didn't need to be a percent right there as well. Percent for 3 turns. And it just got to the edge of the screen, so we're good. And then here we're gonna do this dot update description. Cool beans. We're gonna override. Oh, actually, I do need one more variable. Private var. Going to do bleed. It's a parent status effect listener. Upgrade. Ah, come on, tell me the upgrade. Upgrade. What the heck? There it is. Why didn't it show up? Anyway, on the first upgrade, damage molt gets increased by 50%. Update description. On the... I'm really messing up the keys today. On the second upgrade, the bleed potency goes up by 20%. Oh my god. Bleed molt 0.2. This dot update description. I'm dumb. I'm calling a function, so put the parentheses, you dummy. And then we're gonna have, I don't know. Alright. Oh my Jesus. Okay, let's slow down a little bit on typing. You don't have to go so fast. We're going to do apply listener. You need a target. No, I need to put the void as well. There we go. Okay, so now we gotta go into the parent status effect listener class. Remove listener. This dot bleed. Don't need a target. This dot bleed equals new parent status effect listener. It is a gotta import status effect first. No. There we go. Okay. Then get rid of the class I imported on accident. It's a health bleed on the target from the owner as the source. Apply target. This is going to be the target, I think. Pretty sure. Multiplier 0.15, or mine is negative 0.15 because a bleed, it deals damage based on a percentage of your missing health, and since missing health is a positive number, I have to multiply it by negative 0.15 so that it turns into a negative number for damage. The duration is 3 turns on source. I don't actually think this or the applied target matters, but I'm gonna put true. Rounds, it does round since it's dealing health damage. And then actually what we're going to do is if parents status effect listener, we're gonna check resisted because I need to call this. I'm not sure if I showed this function before, but I need to call it if I'm going to try to apply a negative status effect, because there is a stat called debuff resist chance that makes it to where an entity has a chance on resisting a negative debuff. So I need to check if the target is going to resist the application of the status effect. And if he doesn't resist it, then I need to apply it onto his listeners. So basically I'm just checking, making sure that he won't resist it. There we go. And I'm pretty sure on check resisted I do need to add the target, because you could change the targets. I'm gonna do that just to make sure. Problem is, this is gonna throw a lot of errors everywhere else I use this function, so I'm gonna have to go through that and fix that, but that's okay. Do target entity listener, that looks okay. So we're gonna check resisted on the bleed on the target, and if it returns a boolean, it returns true if they resist and false if they don't resist. So I want to check if they don't resist. So I negate the return value on this, And then I don't need the semicolon yet. If they don't resist, then target listeners dot push this dot bleed, and then I want to add a display text to show that you bled the target. So what I have to do in my stat change event class, I do have a text array that holds all the combat text. And so all I gotta do is I gotta go into that text array and just add that you display name, that you bled the target. Bled target stats display name. There we go. That's all I have to do. So I'm gonna start it, and yeah. Well, actually, before I do have to override cast spell. And so what's gonna happen is we're going to first bleed the target. Apply listener on the target. Actually, since I didn't need the apply listener function, I could have just I could have all the code right here, and it does save me the space of an extra function. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Just copy paste. Yeah, that's all right, I think. Get rid of that. Just check it real quick. Just make sure everything's okay from moving over the code. Yeah, it should be fine. Now it's gonna throw errors because I do use the remove listener, or rather check resisted. Yeah, here we go. So this one is in my quell the weak, which is a, what is quell the weak? Where is that? Is that an assassin? Yeah, it's an assassin ability. Oh geez, where is it? Here we go. Okay, this dot expose and target. Also, I did want to change it because here in laceration, I create a new instance of the bleed before I check the resistance of it. I want to do that here, where this is just checking the resisted of the status effect listener before I remake it, and I want to remake it before because I want to check the resistance of the actual status effect that I'm going to be applying. So I'm going to go ahead and change the listener first, and then check to see if the new listener that I've created is the one that's going to be resisted. So that should be alright. It's going to throw more errors because I do use this quite a bit. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to check the target. Oh, you know what? Wait. Yeah, problem is... Okay, I see the problem. Because I don't want to remove the listener if they resist the status effect, because you could bleed them once, and then when you try to reapply the bleed, that bleed can be resisted, but the old bleed will remain. And the problem is, if I remove the listener before I check if they resisted, you can put an old bleed on them, and if you try to bleed them again, if that's resisted, it'll still remove the previous bleed. But I want that one to remain. And also the problem is, remove listener uses the current instance of the bleed. So if I change the bleed here, like changing it outside so that it creates the new bleed that I want to check, if it creates, excuse me, sorry, my throat. So if I create a new bleed before I remove the bleed, this bleed won't be equal to the same bleed that's inside of the status effect array that I want to remove to override it with the new bleed. Hopefully that makes sense. It's a little finicky, a little complicated, but just roll with me on this one. Even though I kind of want these to stay outside, I can't have them stay outside. That's basically the main thing that I wanted to say about that. Anyway, I do want to go back and find that other ability that used this because I exited out of it. It was Quell the Weak, right? Yeah, I don't need to know this anymore. And that's an assassin ability. There it is. Quell the Weak. Okay, it's right here. Okay, put that back. That's fine. And then, okay, everything's good. Oh, there is a problem with how many tabs I have. There we go. Okay, results. What's wrong here? Attack reduction, target. Just gotta keep doing that. Burn effect on the target. Don't worry, these abilities are from other classes that I haven't shown because they were made before I decided to start recording myself. And here on target, and I do the target here as well. Jesus, there we go. Almost done. Yep, just one more. Alright, well that should be fine. Laceration. Honestly, I think the spell's ready to go. Let's find out. Make sure it's okay. Make sure it runs just fine. Come on. You can. There we go. Okay, it started just fine. Now I need to initialize the ability itself. I'm going to do a public static var. This is a Marauder. Laceration. And it extends laceration. What the hell? Laceration. There we go. Let's get rid of that import. I accidentally wrote the wrong class down. Not magic strike. Active spell, Marauder, laceration. Oh my Jesus! You messed up one letter and it screws up the whole thing. Laceration. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't put the parentheses in. It didn't say something was wrong. Interesting. Oh yeah, also I did this for all the other abilities. Might as well. It'll save me some. I imported spell strike. Okay. Okay. That too. Okay, so I can get rid of these and these and those. That should be okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. Function value. Oh, wait, what? Oh, dummy, come on. Put the parentheses when you're making function calls, you dummy. Okay, that worked just fine. We're going to do active spell. Marauder. We're going to unlock it on the entity player. We're going to upgrade. Upgrade, cast spell on the ally. Ooh, nope, not add ally. Ally 1. Okay, it didn't crash, so we're good. Now let's bring it over here. Alright. Come on, there we go. Okay. Player bled ally 1. So, he's going to take... I don't know if yeah. I already explained that bleed deals damage based on a percent of missing health. So here, the ally was missing before the bleed took effect. It is, oops. They are missing 1,000 minus 964 is 36, and then the multiplier, since I upgraded it, went up to, what is it, 35%? Because it was 15 plus 20. Yeah, that's 35%. So times 0.35. It's 12.6. So something happened where it didn't deal as much damage as it should have. Let's find out how much damage, or what percentage of, or rather it's, oh, what have I done now? It's 5.4 essentially, divided by, I forget what the missing health was. Oh, it's still doing only 15%. Why isn't it not doing, Oh, you know why? Because I don't even update it with the new bleed molt. I'm an idiot. Why don't you guys tell me this? Come on. Wasting everybody's time. Everybody's time. Okay, let's find out if that worked. Okay. This seems alright. We are doing a 1,000 minus 923 times 0.35 is 26.95. So yep, it is working just fine now. You can see the bleed gets pretty large the more health that they're missing. That's why bleeds are pretty powerful, because the more you damage them, the more damage they take, which in turn deals more damage. So it's just like a big old snowball effect. So this is working just fine. I just had to change that one little line of code that I did, and then laceration is done now. So laceration's good. Now I need to do shred, which deals 100% attack damage and attack exposes the target by 20% for 3 turns. This one is going to be more or less the same as laceration, only it's going to be a bit different because it does have a chance to apply 2 status effects. But in this case, it's going to attack expose and spell expose. And since the upgrade is like additionally spell exposes, I'm going to make it to where if the target resists the attack expose, they won't get the spell expose applied to them. Just because those 2 exposes kind of they're like linked together. If one applies, the other's going to apply. If one doesn't apply, the other one's not going to apply. That's like my thought process on it anyway. Feel free to disagree with me, but that's how I'm going to go ahead and do it. Active spell. Okay, then we're going to do the super. Spell type is going to be, again, yeah, this one's going to be debuff just like the laceration, just because I feel like you're going to use this ability for the debuffs rather than for the damage. Initial damage type is attack. Initial damage mult is 1. Stat to spend, we're doing current mana. Display stat to spend is mana. Base cost is 25, not 24. Base cost mult 0. Cooldown 4. Upgrade 1 is additionally spell exposes the target by 20%, 3 turns. Yes, and then the second upgrade is deals bonus damage equal to 5 times the target's armor. So yeah, cool beans. And then I don't need to have an update description because the description itself isn't going to change, since the upgrades don't change any of the multipliers that the description will use. So I can just put I can set the description right here. It deals 100% attack damage and attack exposes the target. Oh my gosh. Target by 20%. 3 turns. There we go. Fumbling about with the keys, but we got there eventually. Upgrade spell 1. We're going to... Oh, I don't need to do anything with any of the upgrades because all I need to do is in the cast spell just check if they bought the upgrades, and if they did, then that's when I apply all the changes that the upgrades do. So I will need 2 status effects. Private var, attack expose. It's a parent status effect listener. Oh my gosh, please. We're going to do a spell expose. And from there, I don't need anything else. So we're going to override cast spell. And I do need to take off the return because, actually, do I? No, I don't. Because I was going to say, because I do damage, or I do bonus damage equal to 5 times the target's armor, but there's really nothing I can... Oh, no, yeah, I'm going to have to, because I'm going to have to return the total damage that the spell does initially. So I'm going to do a var damage dealt. It's going to be an integer equals supercast spell target. So we're going to check if this dot bot upgrade 2, because this is the one that deals bonus damage equal to their armor, damage dealt plus equals a new stat change event, and it's going to deal probably just attack damage, honestly, because the spell itself deals attack damage initially. So target entity will be the target, is the source is this owner, and it's by a change of target stats armor. What is it? I think it's defense. That's that the armor is. Let's figure this out real quick. Yes, defense. Okay. So we're good. Defense times 5. Rounds is true, so everything else is fine. And that should be fine. Now if this bot upgrade 1, I have to do a little bit more with this. We're going to... Oh wait, no, because it's going to attack expose them no matter what. So we're going to have to go into the parent status effect listener, check resisted, this attack expose on the target, and then again have to check the negation because I want to see if they didn't resist it. Then parent status effect listener, remove this attack expose. Don't need a target because it can grab it from the effect itself. This attack expose is new parent effect listener. Import status effect, and it's attack expose target entity. This target source is this, not source. Applied target would be when they are the source of the damage. No, I'm sorry. It's not weakening them. It's exposing them. So when they are the target of the damage, they are going to increase the damage by 20%. Duration is 3 turns. On source is false. Rounds will be true. Then yes. Yes. I think attack exposed changes the value. Yeah, attack damage by a value. Okay, we're good. And then now this is when I check if they bought the upgrade. And then we're going to basically do the same thing, only with spell expose. And this spell expose, everything good. And then we're going to do nope. I was going to do something, but I have to do it here anyway. Target stats listeners dot push attack expose, and then basically do the same thing here, only with spell expose. Just do that. A lot simpler. Oh god. A couple of those in there. Oop, just one. Okay. Then that seems like it's okay actually. Yeah, that seems fine. And then I'm gonna have to do the text array thing where I push or tell the people that you exposed the target. Stats display name exposed display name. Now that should be okay, honestly. Oop, I do have to actually return an integer. Damage dealt. There we go. That's fine. And then I gotta initialize the variable. Static var. Oh, that's publis. Static var Marauder shred. I'm gonna import shred. Shred equals new shred. There we go. Run it just to make sure it's okay. Seems alright. Okay, let's take this back because I want to do the same thing but with for shred. Yeah, and let's see how it works. Let's bring this over here. Do that. So we're going to see that he exposed the ally. The player deals 23 to 24. So after, no, hold on, what's going on? Something's fishy. This player deals 23 to 24, and I need another because he missed the attack here. And I don't know if turn 3 is when the effects ended, or if it should have been on the beginning of turn 4. And I can't tell because I can't see how much damage the player did on this turn because they missed the attack. So I'm gonna run it again. Hopefully the player doesn't miss his attack on the first turn. Or second turn, rather. Player deals 60 to 70 and 68. So it doesn't seem like the expose is working because neither the player nor the enemy are both dealing any more damage. So I don't know who it's applying to. I think it might have something to do because I'm messing up right here. Right here, the expose itself. Is it not target? Is it source? I think it might be source because of the way that I'm thinking about the problem incorrectly. I think whenever, no, I'm not sure. I'm gonna change it to source. I'm pretty sure source is the right one instead of target. But the way I'm thinking of it, I'm like, you're applying the status effect onto the enemy, and when the enemy is the target of the attack damage, then that's when you do it. But it's probably like whoever applied it, it's referencing to the applicator rather than the applicated. Maybe? I don't know. It made sense to me at one time, and now I seem to have lost the ability to understand what I did. It does 13 to 14. And the player is still doing 13 to 14 damage. So yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on. Then it might be on... Just the on source might be incorrect. On source... Should on source be true? Is that what I'm missing here? 44 to 50. No? What the heck is going on? When it's the source and on source? I'm going to figure this out, okay? Player deals 60 to 108. I can't, it doesn't, none of this is working. Why is none of this? I swear I've done exposing before and it works. Or rather, I've messed with changing attack values. Hold on. 20 to 25. 22 to 20. 22 to 25. Or was it actually working before? I just wasn't noticing. Hold on. Ah, Jesus Christ. What is this? On source. On source, I thought it should be false. We're gonna figure this out. Every now and then it does happen to where it works properly, but I just don't notice for some reason. So 2022, 2022, 2022, 2022. He's not doing any more damage. I am confused. It might be. Hold on. We are going to debug this. What is going on? Go into parent status effect listener. Because right here, if the stat to change is attack damage, then a stat called change stat equals attack. And what happens is, if change stat is not equal to nothing, then we add basically a change listener. So this is what happens when you add any sort of damage modifying status effect. It adds a change listener onto the target that's listening for the change that you supply it. So we're listening for current health attack. This dot applied target value. Interesting. Yeah, that seems right. That seems right. Is pre. Yes, it is, because you want to change the value before it's dealt, so that can stay true. It should be right then, correct? Hold on. Is positive. Is singular. Revert. Yes, 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 yes. So, it should be, because this applies a change listener onto the ally 1, and the ally 1 is the on source is false, meaning when he is not the source of the current health attack change, and the applied target is target, so that means when he is not the target of the current health attack, and when he is the target apply a change, and it's not applying the change for whatever reason. So what I'm actually going to do, because I don't know how long this is going to take to look at and fix, I'm going to end the video right now, and I might add a little addendum to the end if I figure out what the fuck happened. I might be a complete idiot and it could be working properly. I'm just not doing the apply target and on source properly, but hopefully I'll figure that out, and I'll put a little thing on the end of the video showing you what exactly is going wrong, because I'm losing my goddamn mind right now. Anyways, cutting it right now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, please show your appreciation by doing all the good stuff that I love you to do, like clicking the like button, commenting, subscribing, all that wonderful garbage, and hopefully I'll see you guys just in a second with a little extra clip on what has happened to what is going on with this problem. Bye-bye. Okay guys, I'm back, and I figured out the problem. It was a little bit more complicated than I would like to admit. I will do one thing real quick, because I wanted to show you what the problem was, but also I want to show the other people who don't care what the problem was, the spell itself working properly. Right here we have the player dealing 44 to 48. He exposes him and he deals 57 damage now, which is higher than what he could do before. So as you can see, it is working properly. I do have a trace going on that I don't need. This right here, don't need that. So that is the spell working, and Shred I think is the last spell. Yeah, so if you're done with that, then thank you for watching again, and I already did my spiel in the last clip, so I won't do it again this clip. But if that was all you wanted to see, just a spell working properly, there you go, you just saw it. But for those of you who want to stick around a little bit longer, I will show you what happened. I'll try my best to keep it as understandable as possible, because it is a little complicated, and it caught me by surprise when I found out, so it confused me for a little bit too, so don't you worry. Anyways, what happened was, in my remove listener function here, I also, well, the thing is, I had also a call to a change listener remove listener function, which is basically the same thing. It removes the change listener from a target array if it exists, because in the parent status effect listener I do have a variable called new change listener, where this change listener is set to a change listener whenever this status effect changes anything that isn't a stat itself, rather when it changes any sort of damage value, be it attack damage, pierce damage, spell damage, or divine damage. If any of these four are, if any of the stat to change is equal to these four, then it creates a new change listener. Thing is, it has to also remove previous instances of that change listener before it applies a new one. Just like in the status effect, if you have a poison applied onto a target and you try to reapply the poison, it removes the oldest one. It's the same thing with the change listener. Okay? And so what happened was, I called the remove listener inside of the parent status effect listener remove listener function. Problem was, it didn't remove it if the listener we're looking for is equal to the current listener that's in the target array. I had it outside right here. So the problem was, what was happening was, it was removing the change listeners from these parent status effect listeners, whether or not they were the same change listener that I wanted to remove. It was removing all of the change listeners rather than just the one I wanted. So that's why it wasn't increasing the attack damage dealt, because since in the spell it applies the attack listener first and then the spell listener. So when the spell listener got applied, what it did was it called remove listener, and remove listener removed any other instance of a change listener, which included the attack change listener. If that makes any sense, hopefully it does, because in here it didn't matter whether or not the spell expose was equal to the attack expose, like it would verify right here, because the remove listener function was outside of the verification. And so all I had to do was move the removal of the listener inside of the verification, and now it verifies if we're looking at the same status effect that's applying, then and only then do we remove the listener inside of that status effect. Hopefully that made sense. If it didn't, I apologize, but I tried to describe it as best as I could to my abilities, and it now works just fine, so we shouldn't be running into that problem in the future, so don't worry about me having to do this again, hopefully, because hopefully I have it working as properly as I can have it at this point in time. And so, yes, now I am done. It works just fine, as you just saw, and I hope you stuck by to listen to me rabble a little bit. I'm a little off my game right now just because I'm super friggin' hungry. I made some slow-cooked the pulled pork barbecue stuff, and it smells so good, and I want it, but it's only going to be done in like another 45 minutes, so I am like dying over here. But yes, I will see you guys later. I am sorry talking about my food, and it's not related to anything, but yes, I gotta go now because I'm rambling. Bye-bye. Bye.